Hey, what's up everybody? TechChucker here, and today I've got a review for you of the Neca Toys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze, TOKKA RAHZAR. These were some of the most anticipated figures of the year for me. So excited to have them in hand. I am super late on my review, so we are going to do this very short. We're only going to touch on the really important things that we need to touch on. That's why I don't even have the package, because it's not important. First things first, paint and sculpt is amazing. If you didn't already know, it is. There is nothing to complain about for me. Neca just did a fantastic job on this. There are chains here. They seem to be real metal. The armor on each of them, especially on Rahzar, is amazing. It looks like it's actually from the junkyard. You can see the thigh pad here. It actually looks like it's from a tire, and then it's got spikes coming out of it. I mean, this is just a spectacular piece. I mean, the paintwork is just so good. There's shading everywhere. The eyes look awesome. The mouths, both mouths are articulated, which is super cool. Even this little piece, the little nose beak, that wiggles a little. Hopefully it's supposed to do that, but they've painted the inside. His tongue is kind of shiny, so it actually looks like it's wet. Amazing. These are some really big figures, so let's measure them up and see just how big they are. Rahzar is coming in at about just under 8 inches tall. That is really big. And then TOKKA is coming in at about 7.5 inches, maybe close to 8. That is amazing. Let's do some size comparisons with the inevitable Marvel Legends Deadpool. We got to have him in there, see how he scales. That looks kind of fun. I like that. And then let's do some actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We've got Leonardo in here. He scales really well. We've got Casey Jones. Let's see, we'll just put him... He smacked Deadpool with the bat. We'll just pull him out. Throw Casey Jones in there. Not too bad for the scale. I think that is pretty perfect. And then we've got Super Shredder, who still is going to tower over all of them. So scale-wise, Neca nailed this. Let's jump into the articulation on both of these. Let's do TOKKA first. Articulation in some areas is awesome, and in other areas, it, leaves some things to be desired, but I will say overall articulation is amazing. His eyebrows, number one, move so you can get some really great emotions out of him. Some kind of like, what's going on? To excited or even sad. He's got the sad eyes, and then he's got angry eyes. It's amazing. In the neck, he has a couple of joints, so he's able to look all the way up, which is awesome. Then you can have him like, that's amazing. He's able to look side to side pretty decent. That's not too bad. That's actually really good. And then he can look up, or up. That's down. He can look down. He can look up, like we said. He's got so much emotion in that articulation. In the shoulders, it's a little bit more limited because of these spikes. I don't really care because I'm so happy with this. He's got double jointed elbows. Those can be a hair limited as well. If you are new to Neca, heat everything up before you do anything with it, but he has pretty good range of motion there. In the wrists, he has hinges with a peg. Those really don't have any issues. The torso, that's a little limited. It kind of wobbles in there a little bit, but I don't even care. I don't care. I'm not objective at all. In the hips, he's got T-jointed ball joints, it looks to be, and it's a little limited, but it still works. He is able to kick forward about that far, a little bit limited. He's able to kick back that far, not great, but still pretty decent. He can swivel those thighs up at the waist there, at the whatever that thing is. We're just going to keep going because we don't have time. He's got double jointed knees. Those bend pretty good. He will wind up kicking the back of his shell. So you might not always get him all the way bent, but it's still okay. The knees will rotate as well. Down in the ankle, he has a hinge. He can get his foot back that far. He can get his foot forward a pretty decent amount. He's heavy. These things are heavy too. There's also a ankle rocker. The articulation on this guy, while not perfect, is still really good and probably better than some other figures that we've gotten in the past. Not necessarily from Neca, but from other companies. Moving into RAHZAR. Again, we noted mouth articulation. The head articulation on this guy is also pretty good. He can look side to side. He's got good tilt. He can look up. He can look down. Shoulders, he's got ball joints or ball hinges in the shoulders. Those go out about that far. They do rotate. I didn't mention that about TOKKA, but they rotate. There is no upper bicep swivel, but there is a lower elbow or an elbow swivel. He's got double jointed elbows. Heat it up if you haven't already. Oh, I've said it a million times, and I will always say it, heat these things up. In the wrist, he has a hinge, and there is nothing getting in the way there. There is some torso articulation, and it works pretty decent. You just kind of have to finagle it to get it to work, and then he has some side-to-side crunch that works good. Down in the hips, he's got those T-jointed ball joints, and he's got pretty good range there. He is able to kick forward a really good amount. That's awesome. And then he is able to kick back that far, which is also great. Be careful as you manhandle these because those chains are hooked to small pieces of plastic. So I'm just a little worried that it'll break. He is able to swivel those thighs, double jointed knees. Those work pretty good. There is a swivel also at the knee, and then the ankles have a hinge. He can get back that far, and then he can go forward that far, and there is an ankle rocker. And then last but not least are the accessories, and Neca was more than generous with these accessories, considering the price point, which was about $70 for the set, and how big these guys are. We get 2 extra sets of hands for RAHZAR. They are very nice. They are sculpted and painted pretty much perfectly, and they are also shaped so that he can hold his accessories, which is great. And then TOKKA also comes with an extra 2 sets of hands, so a total of 6 hands that you get for each of the figures, which is great. And then we get the TGRI Ooze canister. That is a nice touch to have another one of those. We get a metal pipe, which is painted very nicely. There's some nice dry brushing on here, lots of little scratches and whatnot, and we've got little a hole at the ends, which is kind of cool. And then we've got a chunk of wood, which is painted so well. This actually looks like bark. If you look at it close, and you're probably not going to see it very well on camera, that is so good. It looks like real wood. There's 3 holes here for the fingers. I still haven't gotten the hands and the fingers to match up with those holes yet, but that's kind of nice for some grip. We get a box of donuts, Simply Donuts, and if we open this up, there is a set of donuts that you can put in there. There are 7 here, and then we get a extra donut that has been like squished. I keep dropping it. And that looks kind of gross. So that's cool. We get a fire extinguisher. This is really cool. It's got a rubbery hose. Maybe a little more paint would have been cool on this, but still, I'm really pleased to have that. And then we get a shield, and this actually looks like some sort of hubcap. Might be a little bit big for a hubcap, but it looks so good. It's painted so well. My only gripe is the strap here is kind of detached, and I don't know if that is meant to be that way or if it's broken. There's nothing here, but it looks like there's supposed to be something there, so I don't know if that's broken or not, but it looks super cool. I couldn't be more pleased with this set. Neca nailed the sculpt. They nailed the paint. I mean, just look at all of these spikes on the back of TOKKA. That is super cool. They are kind of sharp, so just be careful with those. I'm so excited to have these. They are such amazing pieces. I hope you had a chance to be able to pre-order them and get them, because as far as I know, they are not going to be made available again, although Neca has been known to make pretty much everything available again later on. There you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit that like button and all of the other crap that we ask for, subscriptions, like buttons, all that junk, and I will see you in the next video.